Speaking of heaps of fun, 13 minutes to 8.
VCA amalgamated with Melbourne Uni, I think it was in 2007, and are now being forced, if you will, to implement the Melbourne model, which is cutting into the fabric of that very fine cultural institution. We are going to speak to now one of the alumni, one of the best-known alumni of the VCA, about what is going on there in that institution. Miss Julia Zemiro, welcome to Triple R, Brekkie.
What a lovely introduction. You did all the hard bits about the history of it, which is great.
Good morning.
Good morning. How do you do?
Are you?
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Before we get on to the hard bits, I want to ask about your experience at VCA.
What an excellent question. I thought I had just arrived in the most extraordinary place in the world. And look, not everyone will agree with me. You know, whatever course you do in life, you bring to it what you bring to it. And let's not pretend we didn't lie on the floor for, 4 months breathing. But it's made me the performer I am today. But look, I was at Sydney Uni doing a BA, doing an academic degree, and wanted to do theatre, and so I kept doing stuff with the Dramatic Society there, which was not affiliated with any course. And Neil Armfield did stuff there, it was just where you had to do stuff and no one was in charge of it.
8 out of 9 credits in that course, am I right in saying?
Yes! Oh my God, I only did 8 ninths of my BA. Thank you for bringing that up. My mother will be pleased. Ouch. Never finished it. But every year we would audition for acting schools where we could get practical training because, you'd either audition for NIDA or VCA at the time. WAPA, the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts in Perth, was still a bit small at that stage. This is back in 1990. And so the big thing was you wanted to get into a practical training course for 3 years. You wanted to get in based on talent because, and I'm not blowing smoke up my own.
Well, come on. Somebody has to.
Someone has to. You've got to blow your own horn. But the thing is, that's part of the excitement of getting to a place where you think, I'm with this elite group of people, supposedly, and I'm going to spend 3 years getting really good at this thing. I might make it through, I might not. But at the end of it, you would get an agent and then fly, little bird. Like it's easy being an actor. Yeah. It's not. No. And this counts as, for any be it dance, whatever. And out you went to the world. Now, the VCA at the time, 91 to 93, didn't have much money. The first voice class we had to clean our own floors, and they still do that, where you all clean it so there's no dust, and then you can lie down. It was just fantastic, and I loved it. And it's kind of disappearing before our very eyes. And VCA as a brand or as a school doesn't even exist anymore as a name. It's now VCAM, which is VCA and School of Music, put at the end, College of the Arts and Music. And it's part of Melbourne Uni. And the course, as you say, is about to be changed into the Melbourne model, which is mainly from practical to a quite academic course. Now, some people don't want to be academics. Like I said, I left that Sydney Uni course because I wasn't getting the practical training that I wanted. Yeah. So you have to go to a specialised place. And the dean, and, it's not about it becoming a witch hunt at all, but Charmaine Pretty, jokes aside, is the dean of VCAM and, has stated quite categorically that VCA, she doesn't like the way VCA has been siloed into its narrow little degree programs. Producing elite dancers that can only become ballet dancers or actors that can only act is no longer appropriate in Australia. The only way people are learning to sustain a real career in theatre, for example, is if they can write the play, make their own costume and sell the tickets. Well, we do that anyway. Yeah. Always have. Red Stitch is a perfect example. There's a bunch of VCA grads from there. And when you leave a specialised course, any course, you're all looking for a job. Yeah. So, and the point of that particular school VCA is that they constantly said, in my experience, you have to make your own work. And that's what keeps it vibrant. We're not all waiting for someone to call us and say, be in Jersey Boys, Speaking of Jersey Boys, Melbourne's supposed to be this capital of musical theatre, and whether you like musical theatre or not, personally I do.
John loves it.
John, do you love it? See, I love it too.
Yeah, I grew up with musical theatre.
It's a really great night out, and the skill level in those shows is extraordinary. Well, VCA finally got its own musical theatre course to be able to, kind of compete with Western Australia. It's just been canned this year, gone. Puppetry course, gone. So they've made cuts pretty swiftly already, and there's more to come. And we're angry about it, Fiona.
And you should be.
Did you see what the musical theatre crew did for that? They did a show called Disappearing Act.
Yes, they did. They did. Did you go?
I didn't go. I just read about it.
I know. See, so, we're fighting the only way we can with song and dance. But it's more than that. The thing is, Firstly, it's about the young people. I mean, you know, if you're in your late teens, early 20s and you want to try out for some schools to become a dancer, a musician, a visual artist, an actor, you know, you won't be, this school will not be attractive to you. It'll be a 5-year course rather than a 3-year course. I mean, 3 years is long enough. Certainly pay-wise. I mean, I only had to pay 1 year's worth when I went because I had... Well, mature age student, hex, but a bit older. But now, if no one is going to find a 5-year course attractive,
No.
and let alone doing half of the course all theory. Now you can read all the books you like by Jean-Luc Godard about how to make a movie.
It won't make you a good actor.
And also, you better pick up a camera if you like at the film school there at VCA. You can read all you like about, you know, how Scott Hicks puts a film together, but until you get a camera, 2 actors, and you see how hard it is to make this little bit of paper come to life, this script, you're not a filmmaker.
What about, Julie, what about sessional teachers? Isn't that one of the great benefits as well? And is that going to change under the Melbourne model?
Of course it is. That'll all be gone. A sessional teacher is a fabulous person from the outside world who works in the outside world, so is bringing in exactly what's happening at that moment in their field, and is employed by the college to teach you for a period of weeks. Jeffrey Rush has done it. He'd be the most high profile. But the people we had when I was there were fabulous because they had energy. They weren't tired of teaching full time. Yeah. You know, they come in with, they're a bit cheeky. They've got a bit of, well, actually, you know, they make you think.
A little bit of chutzpah.
Oh, a lot of chutzpah. Look at you. Multilingual lady.
Wow.
And they come in and they just give you that little injection of excitement, and it's such a great thing. Well, they're gone. It's not looking great. And what drives me mental is that we go on about Melbourne being the city of the arts, and kind of no one really knows what's going on. That's what's sort of weird. I will actually put myself in that category. I mean, we were away, Sam, you and I in Moscow, working hard doing the Eurovision business.
I'm just recreating some of our magic over here by not talking. I'll tell you, Julia, other than coming in and talking to us and telling our listeners what's going on.
I have to say is preaching to converted because, look, you people, you love the arts. And we all agreed the arts are important. We are on Triple R. That's a given. But, you know, this place will disappear. And if you've ever enjoyed a movie or a bit of ballet, well, it's over.
And that's the confusing part is it does seem that we are all for that community, but it doesn't feel like it's getting the right support. Like,
I went to a book launch and John Brumby was there, and I just went up to him and went, "Hi, my name's Julie Zemiro. Do you know what's going on?" And he kind of didn't really know. Very lovely, listened. But wasn't got, well, you know, he's got a line, sure.
Don't start me on Brumby, by the way.
But it's the VCA, and you're going, it's our main bloody school. Yeah, now there's a march, everybody.
What are we going to do?
I just want to make sure I officially get a question in.
Oh, please.
Well, other than that, what are you actually doing? What
can
people
actually
do?
There's lots of. Well, what we'd like people to do is let's use Facebook for good instead of evil. Not a fan of the Facebook, but this is fantastic Facebook for this. In that, go to Save VCA on Facebook, and you can actually join, find out what's going on, because the thing is, it's not just the young people who are going to miss out on actually being in the course. Is if you are a fan of the arts and you'd like to see it continue, and there's been some fabulous people come out of that school, whether they've had huge careers or not, it's a fabulous training institution. Well, it was. Or you can come and protest. Oh, who doesn't love a good old march? I do.
Give me a placard on anyone's.
Friday the 21st of August at 10 a.m. We're all meeting, and we'll all be there at the VCA Campus at 10 a.m. That's 234 St Kilda Road, South Bank. It's so easy to remember. 234. And we call it VCA Campus because we like to call it that name. Yep. There'll be some live performances and speeches from prominent industry figures featuring Julia Zemiro. Better get onto that. But I will be talking and rallying the troops. Then we're going to march up down Swanston Street and along Collins Street to Parliament.
Wow.
And
is this where John Michael Howson steps in? Wow.
John Michael Howson will be there, of course.
Wow.
He produced Shout and co-wrote Dusty and musical theatre. But look, we need to bring out the big guns, the big names. Jeffrey Rush has already made quite a fuss on radio about it.
I'd argue Hollywood Howson is much bigger than Rush anyway.
I'm sorry. Well, that's up to you then, if you think that. But look, you know, again, Jeffrey was sort of talking about, you know, if you went to the Australian Institute of Sport website and you replace the word athlete with the word artist, you'd be going, gee, it'd be nice if we all saw it that way as well. You don't expect, you know, elite sportsmen to go off and do, look, it's with the sport, can you also just do a little bit of swimming and just a little bit of, you know, long jump? A little bit
more theory.
Yeah, and a bit more theory, because I know you can spin the ball, Shane, good on you, but can you just read about it a bit more? No, he's got to get out there and give it a crack. you know. So that's the march, and we'll all be there, and we need people to come out and force. Can it be mums and dads as well? You've got kids who want to be performers, and actually you might have the day off, you might not. But come on and join us, because we really need all the support we can get.
I love that quote from the Dean. It's not good enough nowadays just for actors just to be able to act.
I know.
That's just not good enough for the Dean.
It's not good enough. Not good enough.
Julia Zemiro has been our very special guest this morning, talking about a little bit of action, a protest, a march.
A manifestation.
I love it when she does that.
It's a French one.
And we will put those details up on the website as well.
Thank you.
So you can, if 234 is a hard number for you to find on St Kilda Road. Julia Zemiro, always a pleasure.
So I feel like I just went, blah, 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 but I am actually a little bit upset about it.
Why don't we get you back in during Radiothon? Just a thought.
I'd love that.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
Thanks, Julia.
Triple R presents Stephen Malkmus and the Jigs. The former